everybody, what's going on? This is just going to be a super quick video because I wanted to talk a little bit about the Game Awards, but specifically about Naughty Dog's brand new IP, Intergalactic. So I guess just to recap my thoughts on the Game Awards really quickly, Witcher 4, very exciting. The new Elden Ring game, I'm cautiously optimistic about it. It was an insane announcement when I saw it for the first time, but after some time to think, I've mellowed out and I really want to see more from the game before I make any decisions about my thoughts on it. But I'm not going to be making videos about that because people have already made so many about them. I want to talk about the Intergalactic situation. It's kind of crazy. Now, a trend I've been seeing in the gaming community lately is the whole go woke or go broke thing. And I just think that's like the stupidest thing possibly ever. If you look at Baldur's Gate 3, it is literally the wokest game of all time. There's no other way of putting it. It's the wokest game of all time. And yet it sold gangbusters and it's beloved by everyone. Because, hear me out, the writing was good. Oh, I know, crazy. It's an insane concept that good writing wins audiences over. But people, gamers, love to associate wokeness with bad game design, bad writing. And don't get me wrong, there are woke games with bad writing, and there are woke games with bad design. I'm not saying there aren't. I'm just saying that wokeness doesn't equate to those things exactly. And now, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not crazy excited for Intergalactic. It is a new Naughty Dog IP, and, you know, Naughty Dog is a very trusted studio to me. I liked The Last of Us Part 2. You know, I didn't hate it as much as everyone else did. So, to me, Naughty Dog still has the sauce. So I'm very much looking forward to what they do with Intergalactic, especially because I'm always down for new IP from big studios. It's pretty rare nowadays. So I'm looking forward to it. I wouldn't say that the trailer blew me away. It looked really cool, like, you know, the facial animations and just the graphic fidelity really did kind of blow me away. But besides that, it's I'm obviously gonna have to wait to see what the game looks like and how it plays. But what people love talking about is, Naughty Dog, you failed us, you've gone woke, this game is gonna go broke, just like Concord. I'm gonna put some comments that I found on Instagram threads, never go on threads by the way, it's like the new Twitter, but here are some comments that I found on threads, and if you I'm gonna leave them on screen for a while I talk, just so you can read them, but you might think, oh, this is bait, like they're just fucking around. There are so many comments like this everywhere. Now here's a picture of the official trailer on Naughty Dog's account, and as you can see, the like to dislike ratio is crazy and the comments are turned off. Now, if this was on like a shitty Ubisoft gameplay demo, then I'd be like, okay, fine, sure, whatever. But we haven't even seen anything from this game. We have seen no gameplay. We've seen no clue as to what the story's like. We've seen, granted, there is one thing that people were pissed off about. It's the product placement. There's like some really heavy-handed product placement in this trailer, and it's such a 4-minute trailer, so I hope that's not indicative of the rest of the game, so that's a little worrisome. But in terms of the actual writing, style, direction, and gameplay, we've seen nothing. So for people to already be calling it a woke mess, and that's gonna destroy the game, it's just insane. And I'm gonna bring back this comment again real quick right here. The user's like, oh, I can't relate to these kinds of games because I'm a male gamer and I'm not a female gamer. How would I be able to relate to this character? And then, you know, people in the comments are like, okay, so what about Ellie from The Last of Us? He's like, I didn't play The Last of Us. And I'm like, okay, so do you mean the second game or do you mean the first game? Because you play as Joel for most of the first game. Did he get to the half an hour section where you play as Ellie and then just put the controller down and say, woke, I can't play this game. Last of Us, you play as a teenage girl. I'm a grown man. I can't relate to that. I'm not a teenage girl. This game's useless to me. I can't play it anymore. So you just forget about it. And what about all those games where you play as teenage boys if you're a grown man? Or what if you're a teenage boy that's playing as a grown man? Like, this whole, like, oh, I can't relate to that person, I'm not them, is just this, are you a samurai in the 17th century? Like, cutting people down? No, it's a fucking fantasy. You're supposed to you're supposed to embody the fantasy. But suddenly, if the fantasy is being a woman, it's just like, oh shit, I can't relate to the fantasy anymore. I'm playing as a woman. There's nothing for me here. It's just, like, what are you talking about? He's saying, oh, there needs to be some kind of character creator so I can really embody the kind of person that I want to be. Is the kind of person you want to be a misogynist sexist, buddy? Because that's what it seems like. And it's just, you know, and then people in the comments are bringing up Concord. And we all know what happened with Concord. Big mess. You know, there's no denying that Concord was a failure. But people love to say that Concord failed because it was woke. No. Concord failed because it brought nothing new to the hero shooter genre. It looked like a mess. It wasn't particularly appealing from a story or narrative front. It was a live service game amongst a constant tirade of live service games that no one wants to play because they take up too much time and they're never that interesting to begin with. And on top of all of that, the character designs were a little off and they use pronouns. But no, Concord's woke because there's they thems and this black woman is fat and ugly, and that's why Concord failed, because the character designs were shit and because they used pronouns, and that's why Concord failed. No, Concord failed because it was a gigantic mismanagement of financial resources and artistic direction. That's why Concord failed. That's why it was doomed to fail. When the Concord trailer dropped, right? Everyone didn't want to play it, but we didn't even know about the pronouns. We didn't know about what the rest of the characters looked like. No one wanted to play it because it didn't look that interesting. It just looked like another generic hero shooter amongst a million generic hero shooters. Like it didn't add anything new to the genre, and we all knew that when we saw the first trailer. And that's why no one fucking played the game. It's not because there was pronouns and a fat black woman that had weird body armor. And, I'll be the first to say, were the Concord designs my favorite ever? No, I think they could have been improved as well. But the game didn't fail for those reasons. Anyways, that's besides the point. Now I'm going to shift back to Intergalactic. Because you play as a black butch woman. By the way, the actress playing the main character, it seems, I'm pretty sure the actress's name is Tati Gabrielle. She is a very feminine woman. She just shaved her head. Or not even she, the character that she's playing in the game shaved her head. That's it. And now she's like she's a butch woman. And I can't relate to that, and I don't want to play. Even if she was a butch woman, who gives a fuck? Like, I understand not being super excited for the game because we don't know anything about it yet. That's a very valid stance to have. But to say, oh, I play as a black butch bald woman, and that's why this game isn't for me, is just the most brain dead fucking take you could possibly have. And then, it's not even bait. That's the worst part. If it was just bait, I could call it a day. But I see opinions like this, and they're only growing more and more prominent in the gaming community. And I think they need to stop. These people specifically, they love to criticize people for being snowflakes, but the second you ask them to play as a fictional woman, they're up in arms about it, and they can't fucking take it, and it's like a personal attack to them as a gamer. And it's just like, shut the fuck up, man. This was supposed to be a critical look at these comments, but I'm just pissed because I've been seeing stuff like this for a long time, and it takes away from actual criticism for these games and these companies. Not that there's even much to criticize about this game yet. People are just jumping the gun. But if we're talking about your Concords or other games in that vein, I guess, the woke games, they are never actually, they're very rarely criticizing the actual creation of the game and the gameplay itself. They talk about it, they touch upon it, but they never dive deep into why the game functionally doesn't work and why it was not successful. It's always just, they were woke. And that, it takes away from criticism, it's not good feedback, and it just makes people angry. I'm getting angry right now. It just divides people, which I guess is the actual plan here. It's they don't want games that bring people together, they just want to divide people. And that's what they do with these stupid ass comments about wokeness in video games, when some of the most successful video games of all time are just woke bullshit. The original Dragon Age games, the fucking Mass Effect games, basically any Western RPG made after 2005 had a lot of, queer elements and were made with a large audience in mind. But I don't know what it is about the current audience. And maybe we're just angry that the industry is failing us and so many others. So I'm not saying they have to play the game, even if they don't want to. Even I'm not sure if I want to play the game yet. But I also know nothing about it, right? I'll probably still check it out when it drops, but I'm only checking it out because Naughty Dog is a trusted developer and they're developing a new IP, and that interests me. I don't see a black woman on my screen and think, this game isn't for me, sorry, I'm checking out, and then go on to Instagram threads of all places and type my responses as to why it's not. They did the same thing with Ghost of Yote when that trailer dropped. That trailer looked sick as fuck. But it's a woman samurai. Women weren't allowed to be samurai. First of all, brother, you're wrong. Second of all, brother, who cares? Who actually gives a fuck? It's insane, and it's the same thing with Assassin's Creed Shadows. And don't get me wrong, Assassin's Creed Shadows looks bad. I'm not playing it. I don't trust Ubisoft. Fuck Ubisoft. I don't give a shit. But suddenly you have a black samurai, and because it's not historically accurate, it's it's a woke game and it deserves its own downfall, and like nothing about it is correct anymore. I understand that there's a Japanese there's a subsection of Japanese fans that are also upset about the historical inaccuracies of Shadows, and I'm not saying they're in the wrong for thinking that, but most of the controversy is coming from just white guys who are like, why are our main characters a black samurai and a female assassin? And sure, Yasuke wasn't an actual samurai, he was just a retainer to the emperor, or I don't know the actual history, I just know he wasn't an actual samurai. Sure, you're right. But since when did you, as an Assassin's Creed fan, care about historical accuracy? Like in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, there's a DLC where you hunt Jack the Ripper. The assassins weren't real. They didn't hunt Jack the Ripper. That's not. We should cancel this game. It's woke. Because a woman assassin didn't hunt down Jack the Ripper in London back when he was around. Yeah, no shit, buddy. This entire series is based on historical inaccuracies. It just, we just drop the characters into different time periods and have some fun. What's wrong with that? Again, I'm not defending Assassin's Creed Shadows. I think the game is still going to be shit for other reasons, and because it's Ubisoft. But having a black samurai isn't the strangest thing that happened in a video game, and I don't understand why people act like it is. Anyways, I've gotten way off topic. It was supposed to be a one thing, and I suddenly branched off in all these different areas. And I'm putting out some videos this weekend. I'm not sure when this one will come out, but I hope you enjoyed my angry rant. This is just stuff I've been keeping in my head for a while, so hopefully it was at least somewhat entertaining to you all. And if you're one of those people that can't stand playing as a woman, fuck off my channel and don't come back. I don't want you here. Bye-bye.